Hey guys, and welcome to the Igloo today. And today we're going to be talking about vehicle to grid with the Cybertruck and how it matters going forward in the United States as well as most other countries. So in Texas, they've been experiencing one of a horrific amounts of perfect storm scenarios that has happened. And because they don't have the proper infrastructure when it comes to it, that they had certain abilities and certain products that shut down because of freezing temperatures, which led to rolling blackouts in other areas. Now, vehicle to grid would solve a lot of this kind of solution, as well as battery backups if you have a Tesla Powerwall, but I think vehicle to grid would be a little bit more because the Tesla Cybertruck would have about 200 kilowatts that you would be able to have on the vehicle itself, and it would be also a beneficiary that you can just put it into the wall or something like that in its entirety. Now, when I'm talking about the Cybertruck, it also has a panel in the back, which you will see later on in this video, that you can plug in at least a 120 that would be viable. Now, it would be even better if there was a 240 or a vehicle-to-grid connection from the Tesla charge outlet itself. But in all actuality, it would still be a good caveat that would be something that you would see from Tesla themselves. Now, would I like to see integration from their new inverters, just like Solar Edge, that you will also see as well? Because Solar Edge has a product that has the ability to be able to use an inverter, take it straight from the sun, and go and distribute it to either have it go straight to the vehicle or the grid go straight to the vehicle, all within the same kind of footprint that you would have on the wall for the inverter. Now, yes, it would be a little more expensive and add complexity to it for the inverter type, but again, this is already a product out there from Solar Edge as a direct competitor from Tesla themselves, especially because they want to bring everything in-house. This kind of product would also be able to save lives, as well as if there is even any other rolling blackouts or anything like that, like what happened up in here in New Jersey, where we had to deal with not only Sandy, but then there was an El Nino storm that myself, and I had to go without power for about 2 weeks. And I have a generator just hook up to the house in the backyard and turning off the main panel. I made it work, but again, you don't know about your situation. You don't know if there'll be gas stations closed down or something like that in those regards. So again, if you're able to integrate, renovate, and to revolutionize that process with a vehicle-to-grid vehicle that is already going to be produced, that would also give an added benefit for the customer so that they do not have to deal with freezing temperatures, starving, having their food expire, having their food have freezer burn, or not even be able to heat the food in the first place because their gas lines are still turned off or their water lines are turned off, and also their electricity if they have an electric stove, because again, most of the majority of people don't want to use small little smart cars for vehicle to grid. And people don't realize this, but the first Tesla Roadster had vehicle to grid, but it did not cater to that audience because not a lot of people that bought the original Tesla Roadster needed to have vehicle-to-grid capabilities, nor was there technology that was more antiquated back then for it without being extremely expensive. But now, as technology has evolved, we're able to have more cheaper equipment for the masses, and it's going to become to a extreme inflection point in the future. Other things that this could also benefit is schools. This could also have, for the Mega Pack kind of series, they could be able to have solar panels for excessive heat that has been happening also in Texas and California, so that they could be able to properly cool their areas for the students when they do eventually go back to school, because it's not going to be something that we're going to be having, as well as for the homeowner, that they'd be able to have something in its entirety. Now, there is other technologies out there, but it would cost too much at the current point, like solar PVT panels, compared to something like Tesla has, where they have a Tesla PV panel and then also the solar roof. There's different advantages to a PVT panel because you're able to take away the electricity. I want to say electricity. I would say take away the heat from the panel to make it approximately 10% more efficient. But other things that every grid is going to be needing is going to be having power banks, virtual power banks, like they have in Australia in many different regards, as well as that it was also approved in the UK for virtual power plants. So we, as in the United States, are going to need something to either be self-reliant, like what we've been doing, except for in the more modern era with our own Cybertruck vehicles, so that not only do they offer the most utility possible, but they're also able to provide emergency services if needed with the 4680 cells. So, in tandem, already being one of the strongest utility vehicles that I've probably ever seen so far, unless it's an F350 or above when it comes to utility or being able to be as a truck driver, or also just for collision assistance that you could be providing as well. But in its entirety, you'll be able to have a inverter generator, and then you would also have your utility functions and also all the cabin space, and if they are able to squeeze in somehow vehicle to grid, whether it is by design, which it kind of already is with that little panel generator in the back, or if they have it all get funneled in as well through the main charging panel. And that is the most important thing that you can possibly have. And I can also see other assistance features like terrain function features if you have a lot of difficulty with terrain, or if there was frozen ice on the roads or something in that regard. It is one of the most important things that I can stress, and that's one thing that I'm going to be getting rid of is most likely Frosty, my personal Tesla Model 3. So if you have something that's like that equivalent, I'm also getting rid of it for a few other reasons. One, it doesn't have the heat pump. Two, it's you lose so much, and I have to keep it plugged in because the amount of sheer cold that we've experienced in New Jersey. It's not worth having something that is less efficient when you could be able to trade up to something more efficient. And that's why one of my biggest decisions that I could possibly have is to get the Cybertruck myself, including all the other reasons beforehand, and also because I want to have kids and a fifth wheel, like I said in the last video. If you guys like this kind of content, please give a like, leave a comment down below, and tell me why you want the Cybertruck, you guys. Like, I'm curious on how you guys think about the Cybertruck and how you guys want to be able to have your lives with the Cybertruck. Have a good one.